Purity Coffee has one primary goal: to improve the world's health through coffee. This goal encompasses everyone involved in the Purity ecosystem and supply chain, including consumers, farmers, employees, and all creatures. It has taken a team of coffee experts from various fields, such as agronomists and engineers and supply chain experts, to bring about this change by looking at coffee from a fresh, new perspective. Since the establishment of Purity Coffee in 2015, we have been innovating a new model for the coffee industry, one that puts your health at the center. In doing so, we've come across a startling truth. For coffee to be the healthiest for our consumption, it also has to be healthy for the planet. Coffee that is produced intentionally for health using methods that support global environmental goals is an entirely new category of coffee. This new category of coffee has strict standards and a different approach that sets it apart from traditional or specialty coffees. This is the story of how we started, where we're going, and why we'd love you to join our mission. As one of Purity's founders and an English tea drinker, I heard mixed messages whether or not coffee was good for health. Some experts were critical of caffeine, while others talked about the incredible health benefits of coffee. My wife Amber, who had begun experiencing low energy and other issues, was more than a little reluctant to give up her coffee without some serious evidence, even though I was convinced it wasn't helping.
In the beginning, before Purity, I just remember how difficult it was to even get out of bed, how difficult it was to just do the normal things to take care of my daughter. I just appreciated how committed you are and dedicated you were to finding me a coffee that would work.
I began to inquire into the link between coffee and health. I took the question to experts at Vanderbilt University, the Federal University of Brazil in Rio, and Harvard Medical School.
You know, we all know about cancer and common cancers, so endometrial cancer, skin cancer, liver cancer, prostate cancer, colon cancer.
Yeah.
These 5 cancers, people who drink coffee have a lower cancer mortality from these. So 5 cancers: cirrhosis of the liver, Parkinson's disease, Alzheimer's dementia, the early stage of Alzheimer's called cognitive decline, low risk in coffee drinkers, low risk of type 2 diabetes. Here both decaf and regular coffee work. And if you drink 4 to 6 cups, there's a 40 to 54% reduction in developing type 2 diabetes. And if one already has type 2 diabetes and they drink 2 cups, regular or decaf, there's a 30% reduction in cardiovascular mortality.
They all supported my wife's position on the matter. Drinking coffee should indeed be good for health. The link between coffee and health is well supported by academic research, with over 20,000 peer-reviewed studies demonstrating the health benefits of coffee. 164 million Americans drink coffee daily, and no one seemed to be producing coffee with health as the primary driver. Just the coffee consumption, as I learned more and more about it, I realized that people were inadvertently drinking bad quality coffee for health just because nobody was looking at coffee with that lens. Most products have a healthier alternative, but the concept of truly healthy coffee was absent in the market. Purity Coffee needed to create a new standard for coffee where every decision was based on health. Unadulterated, pure coffee without additives, gimmicks, or compromises to health, grown regeneratively in revitalized soils and produced sustainably. The truth is that not all coffees are created equal. Coffee tends to be classified as healthy simply if it's absent in harmful compounds such as mycotoxins, heavy metals, and pesticide residues. Those are the basics we should expect from any coffee. At Purity Coffee, that is just the starting point. Science argues that it is not the absence of bad stuff that creates the health benefits. For coffee to be truly healthy, it has to be rich in compounds such as the antioxidants like chlorogenic acids, the good stuff that actually boosts health. And this needs to be measured through lab testing. Purity Coffee is highly selective about the beans we choose. There are dozens of compounds that need to be avoided in sourcing and roasting, and even more that can be optimized for health if the entire process from picking to packing is highly curated. We call this the Purity Standard. For a bean to end up in a bag of Purity coffee, of course it must be organically grown and tested for mycotoxins, pesticides, and heavy metal residues. Beyond that, the beans have to be specialty grade, which is currently the highest quality of beans you can find. Such beans are free from primary defects such as fungus and severe insect damage. Beyond specialty, they have to be rich in antioxidants. So we lab test samples in independent labs to ensure the coffee has the lowest level of unhealthy compounds and is packed with healthy ones. Lab testing informs us of what's working and what's not. The coffee must be shade grown, so it can benefit from the nutrients supplied by other surrounding shade trees. Our farms are Smithsonian Bird Friendly certified, which is the highest certification for shade grown. It must be hand-picked, so only the ripest cherries are selected and the highest quality is ensured. In terms of roasting, Purity is the only coffee company worldwide that roasts to maintain the most powerful antioxidant, chlorogenic acid or CGAs, and avoid the negative compounds that can be created in the roast. We use smokeless roasters to avoid contaminating the coffee with hydrocarbons, and we maintain consistency with advanced data logging systems. Our roast curve has been designed with a direction from the University of Brazil to maintain the high concentration of chlorogenic acids, lower the presence of acrylamide, and take PAH out of the mix. We roast fresh daily and pack the coffee in nitrogen flash bags to prevent it from going stale until it is opened. The market has validated that it wants what we're trying to do. Having a high-quality product is one part of success. The other part is to see how the market responds to it. In just 6 years, Purity Coffee has generated a revenue of $40 million, with over $17 million through online sales in 2023 alone. We have been featured in the Inc. 5000 fastest growing US companies for 3 years in a row, and we can expect to be featured a 4th time, which will make us the only coffee company to be included 4 times. More than anything, we can see that our customers can't get enough of our product. We have over 37,000 testimonials with an average star rating of 4.9 out of 5. When our customers drink our coffee, they notice feeling better and see an improvement in their health over time. We validated this, and now we're ready to put fuel to the fire. How does one go about growing healthy coffee? 6 years of experimentation and exploration have led to a fascinating discovery. Coffee that is grown on biodynamic or regenerative farms has more nutrients such as minerals, trigonelline and CGAs that we want to see in our healthy coffee. When ecological balance is maintained, it has a direct effect on the health benefits of the final product. In other words, our health is married to the health of the soil on which the crop takes root, and our lab tests over the years and customer testimonials have validated this. Coffee has typically been treated as a commodity, and farmers are encouraged to produce coffee at the lowest cost and minimize business complexity. This usually means either chemical solutions or few inputs, both of which lead to lower quality. The majority of the coffee in circulation is grown on industrial farms, which means that farmers aren't paid a premium to produce coffee that meets the high standards needed for it to maximize healthy compounds. We became aware that buying just specialty grade beans, even though the industry considers them the highest quality, wasn't enough. And buying just organic coffee did not equate to the healthiest coffees, because it's even more critical that it's done right, and producers must have the financial means for creating inputs or practices that avoid defects. To improve specialty coffee further for health purposes, we needed to see what was possible if we made every decision based on health, starting at the soil level and the choice of cultivar. Unfortunately, consumers were not yet buying coffee for health, and so farmers didn't have the financial incentive to create healthier coffees. Farmers aren't incentivized to go to the lengths that this new category requires because the outdated coffee market pricing system doesn't consider healthy coffee as a premium or high differential. At the end of 2022, we began to invest in farms and work directly with our producers to define a model that honors the union of coffee and health. We invested in Monte Bonito Farms in Colombia with industry leaders and started collaborating on the Purity Cool Farm concept, where all decisions were made with health as our North Star. What we discovered next would dramatically alter our idea of what was possible in this new category of healthy coffee. We learned that coffee farmed in the best way for health was also farmed in a way that sequestered carbon back into the soil where it could be used by plants. We created the Purity Cool Farm Layer Cake to solve three major problems in one go. 1. Farmers needed investment in producing coffee that would command a truly sustainable income and pricing model that reflected the financial risks of investing in this new category of highest quality healthy coffee. Without farmers having a financial motivation to farm coffee for health, there was no real way to push the healthy coffee industry. We committed to buying entire crops that met the purity standard in all 5 of our cool farms and paying a premium price.
When we began to work with Purity teaching, things changed in this farm. Before that, we were running from every coffee event in the world trying to find the one. We couldn't find anyone that appreciated what we were doing. Are we crazy, or are we doing something that people doesn't want? But when we find Purity, they came, okay, this is something that we appreciate. We're willing to pay your effort. We're willing to help you, and we are gonna build together a better product, a healthier product.
To reduce the risk for farmers, Purity Coffee invests in the training, tech, inputs and support on each of the farms we work with to see them through the development phases. We ensure that we can set themselves up for independent success in the years to follow through farmer-driven pricing, microlending programs and peer collaboration. The layer cake comes into it as we help farmers find the markets to monetize their coffee byproducts and use multiple revenue streams by adding intercrop produce and items like honey to the regenerative farms. These layers of new income reduce the pressure on farmers and give them a safety net to make the shift to growing high-quality, sustainably produced coffee. 2. Global warming and increased demand means there will be 50% less Arabica by 2050. This is a major supply concern tied to environmental issues, with more people wanting less available high-quality coffee. As global average temperatures increase, climate change threatens to erase the total land mass that is fit for coffee cultivation, forcing farmers to farm quickly, which means industrially, and move to higher, cooler altitudes. This will intensify global warming by releasing carbon rather than sequestering it as trees are cut down and new lands are tilled. The clock is ticking and demand is increasing just as supply threatens to dwindle. With India and China and Southeast Asia rapidly increasing their coffee consumption, along with Europe and North America, the pressure on coffee farmers to provide higher yields at the lowest cost is enormous. Farmers are not incentivized to make decisions based on the health of the bean, the soil, or their impact on the environment. The Purity Cool Farms model motivates farmers to farm coffee in a way that sequesters carbon and increases their income and the coffee quality. More consumers can gain access to coffee for health. More farmers can thrive by creating a new category for coffee, which adds new income streams like carbon offsets, ecotourism, honey, coffee byproducts like coffee leaves, flour, and cascara for teas. On regenerative coffee farms, we can increase soil fertility, preserve and even add to indigenous forests, and reduce greenhouse gases. This way of farming also produces the healthiest coffees. It boosts the overall health of the farm, thereby increasing their economic resiliency and allowing more generations of farmers to live off the land. It is common knowledge that industrial farming has fast-tracked the process of environmental degradation. The monoculture era did not travel lightly. It brought heavy pesticides and led to the decay of the microbiome. It increased the risk for farmers whose entire harvest can be wiped out by one pest infestation or weather irregularity. Even the number of existing coffee farms of today, less than 1/4% of coffee meets the high standards required by Purity Coffee, both in terms of soil health and the quality of the bean. That's why the shift to Purity Cool Farms matters now more than ever. The planet, strained by the heavy weight of industrial practices, needs more coffee farmers to adopt the Cool Farm model.
To see if we can understand better the land where we're at, the soil, what to do with it, how to really enhance it, not only on the part of the coffee.
We need coffee production to embrace the regenerative practices set by the Cool Farm Global Alliance, whose mission is to build soil carbon, mitigate climate change, and allow for the restoration of ecological balance. While industrial farms release carbon emissions into the air, Purity Cool Farms are committed to taking carbon from the atmosphere to sequester it back into the soil where it benefits the plants. Purity Coffee has found a way to thrive as a business and thrive as a community. Its success is the proof of concept. There is a burgeoning market for healthy coffee grown in healthy soil. Perhaps it's time for more of us to become a part of this constellation of health, wealth, and community. Not all coffee is created equal, even if the beans look alike. Industrial coffee farms harm the environment and can introduce toxins into your diet, whereas choosing a healthy coffee can be one of the easiest daily decisions you make for your overall health and longevity, as well as the health of the planet. Join our community and be a part of a blueprint for a new category of coffee for health.